Okay, today I'm back out on the prairie, and if you didn't see part one, I'll repeat this story. The way I found this place was because of a story I saw in the news. There was a family that came out here, and their boy was bit by a rattlesnake, and the father didn't have his phone. Ran to a house. They got the boy to the hospital, but he died 4 days later. So I'm going to put a link in the description up above. If you want to help him out, great. But that's how I found this place. And so part one was about snakes. Today I'm going to talk about 2 abandoned structures and a lot of bones I collected. So sit back and enjoy. Today I'm looking for skulls, and so since it's so wide open here, they're pretty easy to spot. I look for anything white, and it's going to be one of 3 things. It's either going to be a skull, a piece of trash, or a rock. That's it. That's all that's going to be white out here. So also I look for things sticking up, like a rib cage, and that would be a deer or an antelope. So I found this pronghorn the first day I was out here, which was super lucky. And I was wondering what kind of animals could kill this thing, because they're so fast. And of course the coyotes ate it, but still couldn't figure that out. And then about 2 weeks later I came back. Pretty much all the bones were gone, but there was an arrow in the ground. So I think that some idiot just shot him. That's just my thought. I know that coyotes can catch them in packs, but yeah, that was really a rare find, and the skull came out good. You'll see that in the other video. So this is the very first prairie dog skull I found, and after that there were many more. But yeah, those 2 things are the 2 halves of his jaw, and that's what I look for, those 3 pieces. Another prairie dog skull. The prairie dog just stuck his head up out of the hole, and then he went back down. But I've gotten really picky now. I just throw away the ones that with the broken eye sockets. I have so many of these things that I stopped collecting. I mean, they're cool looking, but what are you gonna do with all these? So this here is that's a prairie dog tooth. It goes way up into their skull, and as they grind it down, it just keeps on moving forward. So they keep that for their entire life. Pretty crazy. Okay, so there's the upper skull, upper part of the skull, and then this would go, I don't know if this is left or right. Yeah, I think it's this is the left side. That would go up in there. There he is. So that is prairie dog skull. So when I bleach these, I'll find the lower jaw that fits the skull, and then I'll super glue them together. So I don't know what I'm going to do with all these things. I really stopped collecting them unless they're perfect, because there's so many of them. I gotta make a voodoo necklace or something. But I got hundreds of these things. Well, not hundreds, but at least 100. And yeah, if I ever get reincarnated, I don't want to be a prairie dog. They got a rough life. So I forgot my collection bag, but this is what the skulls look like, most of them, when I take them out of the ground. They're really dirty, and these ones take longer to bleach just because the soil is just soaked into the bone. But eventually they will turn white. Here's some more bones. These ones are super old. So you can see what the animals do. They break them open, try to get at that marrow. That's their favorite part. But these have been here for years. I can tell they're really pitted. So here's a new one. It's just a big pile of rib cage. Those are all little ribs. So I think this is probably a rabbit. And I'd love to find a rabbit skull, but I'm sure that's gone. That's a new one though. I haven't seen bones like that. This may be a badger hole, because I've never seen this before. There was a yucca right next to it, and it's torn to pieces. I mean, every branch has been broken off or eaten. I don't know what badgers eat, but the roots are all torn apart. So this is really strange. Okay, so here's some more body parts of that same animal. So that's the hoof, but still no skull. Damn. But got a nice sunset. Rocky Mountain sunset on the prairie, home on the range. Okay, so I'm just looking for anything white. And here's some more of probably the same skeleton. And over here I see something that may be the skull. So on the way over to this possible skull, I found something else. I don't know what this came off of. It's in bad shape, but I haven't seen one of these before. Okay, looks like I finally found what I'm looking for. And this looks like a deer skull. Yeah, I can tell by the antler nubs. So that's what that is. And when you pick these up, you gotta just be careful. I pick them up by the eye socket because sometimes animals can spread disease to you. So you just don't want to rub your face or anything. If you get some on your hands, it's no big deal. Just wash your hands when you get home. But yeah, that's what this is. It's a damaged deer skull, but I can still use this. It looks like it was damaged by coyotes, probably a bit off the nose, but this will be a good piece for my garden. This is what I look for. If I can find anything white sticking up, that is, well, as usual, they've taken the skull away, and most of the time I can't find it. So this is either a pronghorn or a deer. Okay, here's something interesting. This is a small animal, and it's still got the fur on one of the legs. So that could be that looks like maybe a raccoon. It's got brown fur. I mean, it could be it's got claws, so it's not a rabbit. So maybe even a badger. But yeah, that's the arm bone of some small animal. Okay, over here I found a hoof, little tiny hoof of a baby pronghorn or deer. And here's some, yeah, it must have been a deer. This is deer poop. And here's the other hoof. And then over here is some bones from a larger deer. And I did find the skull on this one, but it's in terrible condition. So the coyotes just ripped this one apart, and there's barely anything left of it. So no big finds tonight, and it's raining, so I'm gonna head for home. I do have a bag of some more prairie dog skulls. I'm getting a little pickier because there's so many out here, and I'm just grabbing the good ones now. So here's some more bones. Looks like a small deer. think I saw these once before, but check out this sunset. It's about as good as it gets. So if you're interested in collecting skulls, the prairie is the place to be. That's probably the easiest place to find them. And you know, most of the time they're going to be right out in the open. And that's what's good about these open fields, especially if there's pronghorns. They'll eat the grass, and so it'll be really low. You'll be able to spot them real easy. So it's kind of a fun hobby. Kind of a weird hobby, but a lot of people are into it. Okay, now my destination's in sight. Looks like an old barn or a cabin, so I'm gonna go check it out. So this looks like it might be a old wagon road, and over here is the barn I've been talking about. Wow, so now I've come across some massive bones. I have no clue, and these look like wow, I don't even know. Could be a cow, I guess, but man, that's big. Yeah, it'd be really cool if I could find a cow skull. This has that. That's a brontosaurus burger. Fred Flintstone would eat that. Oh wow, so check this out. Yeah, I guess that's the pelvis. Okay, that's half a pelvis. That's interesting. So here's a big pile of debris. This looks like it might have been a water trough. Could be a foundation of a homestead. I don't know. But it looks like there was a fire because I see some charred wood. Yeah, so this looks like an old abandoned farm with a corral. And I'm being careful in here because the grass is high and this place has a lot of snakes. But I'm gonna go check this out. And there is what looks like a barn, or maybe it's a tool shed, I don't know. But man, you get bit out here, you're in trouble. So I'm being careful. Here's a weird item. This is like a, I don't know what it is. It looks like an artificial limb almost, or a cast or something. Yeah, that's what it is. Some cast off maybe it came off of a animal. Doesn't look like something for a human. But that's probably what it was. Probably a horse or a cow hurt his leg. That's weird. And now here's the remains of a snake. Not much left of it. And it looks like the hawks got him. Not much left of him. Let's see what that was. He's all dried out. Yeah, that was a prairie rattlesnake, I can tell. Yeah, so probably a hawk or a falcon got him. Chewed him up pretty good. So there's some more bones. That looks like deer, probably. Yeah, those are small bones. So here we are. It's an old abandoned corral. Okay, I'm gonna try to film this really quick because this is the time of the day when these snakes start coming out, and I really hate this tall grass. This is the worst. So this is where Leatherface lives. Where he murders all the animals. Yeah, so this is old. It's been abandoned for a long time. Like a little door here. And over here there's like a weight where they can open and close the door with these rocks hanging on the end. So I just figured out a way to get in here. This gate actually moves. So this leads me to believe that those bones I found were from a cow. Okay, so I'm back out here again, and it's I'm going to turn around because it is starting to get these thunderstorms, and it's dangerous, you know. So, but I wanted to show you something. I was poking around near that old corral, and I was looking for maybe some bottles or something, but I dug up something way cooler. It was really muddy out here, and let me show you what I got, because this is probably one of the coolest things I've ever found. Here you go. Probably 100 years old. Old spur in perfect condition. Awesome find. But I gotta get out of here because these thunderstorms are, you're the lightning rod in this prairie, so I gotta get out. So here's another shot of this what I called a barn. It's not actually a barn. It looks like it was a chute to get cows onto trucks. I don't know what you call that, but it's a corral, and it's got the chute. I'll walk up and show you the chute. This is a different angle than last time, and this is near where I found the spur. So that was a good find. Probably 100 years old. Okay, so here's the ramp, and they would have backed the truck right up to it and run them through this little corridor, kind of force them through this stall and right into the back of the truck, off to the meat factory. So that's what this is. And so if you notice, the grass gets way taller through this area, and I think the reason is that they had cows in here and they were just pooping, and a lot of fertilizer, a lot of manure in here, and so this place is really fertile. An old barn nail. I like to find some square nails. This one doesn't look too old, but there might be some square nails out here. Okay, so I found a rock wall out here, and it's looks like it was there was a pipe running down the center of it. I think that's what that was. And then there's, I don't know what was here, but this might have been part of a aqueduct system. Kind of cool. And here's another gigantic cow vertebrae. These are really old. You can see they're completely pitted. So that's probably been there for 100 years. So here's a old pole, and probably fit upright right in here. So I don't know what this was, but kind of interesting. It's all gone now. Here's another one. So it's dusk out, and that's snake time, and so I'm not walking through this sagebrush. But you can see an old broken down windmill out there, and then over on this side is another windmill and a destroyed house. These are old homesteads, and so I will come back here at a different time. Like so many other people, I got the hell out of California. I lived there for 62 years, and I should have done this 40 years ago, but I'm glad I'm here now. What I was most worried about is the winters, but the winters here are really mild. If you live in the mountains, it might be another story, but this is considered high desert, and I love it here. You got the prairies on one side, Rocky Mountains on the other, and they call this the Front Range. Only thing that sucks about this place is that they're starting to build right up to the edge of it, and so you got this eyesore, these buildings all over the place, but still pretty cool. It's called an open space, so they can't build on this area, but they can go right up to the edge of it. Okay, so I'm out of one of these homesteads. I just saw a deer, but down here there's some wild gourds growing. These are cool. Look almost like little mini watermelons. Pick one out. That's what those are. Little wild gourds. I don't know how big they get, but that's pretty cool. Here's a deer again. I don't know if you can see him. He's off in the brush. But at night, there's mountain lions out here. So he's walking away. He's way out there though. Yeah, mountain lions come through here, and sometimes even bears. So I don't worry too much about them, but the snakes I try to keep an eye out for. So here's this old shed again. This time I'm going to get a closer look. Last time it was snake time, so it's a little earlier now. They might still be out, but take my chances. Yeah, so this looks like probably an old house. It's pretty cool. And here's the floor. So looks like yeah, it was laid out on some logs. So whenever I find a place like this, I look for old bottles or artifacts. And I was out here in the rain the other day. I just briefly showed it, but I found an old spur. Probably one of the coolest things I've ever found. I found it way out there. It was not next to this shed or shack. It was just out in the open prairie. It was kind of buried in the mud. I saw something metal and I just picked it up. There's some more of those gourds. These are really small ones. So here's a painted board. Most of these boards don't have paint on them anymore, but that's cool. I'm gonna take that home and make a shelf out of it. Pretty cool. So here we are back at this weird lifeguard chair. David Hasselhoff is on break now.
Burger, fries, and a Coke. Don't bother me. I'm eating.
But yeah, I don't know what the chair is about, but looks like this was a cistern. And cisterns usually kept these trees alive. You don't see any trees around here other than these two. So That's what it might be. So I promised I was gonna climb this water tower, see what's up there, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. Okay, I can't climb this and hold the camera at the same time, but we'll see what's up there. I'll show you. Okay, so I got up here and stuck my head inside and a bunch of birds flew out, so that scared the hell out of me. This thing is really shaky. It's just barely welded on. So I'll get the camera up top and show you what it looks like. Okay, so not a lot up there, but I did almost get hit in the face with two birds that flew out. So here's something I haven't seen before. This looks like it was probably the well, so that's cool. I'm almost sure that's what it is. It's kind of a small one, but yeah, that would have been the water source. So here's some weird, looks like an old fence of some sort. Might have been part of another homestead. Got the logs. It's really a strong looking fence though. So coming to your town soon, the world's biggest tumbleweed. It's gonna be blowing through. What size is that sucker? It's an 8-footer, 8-foot diameter. So here you go. This is my backyard. So this all used to be a part of a ranch. It was huge. It's called the Banning Lewis Ranch, and it was 30,000 acres. It's a big cattle ranch. And so those bones that I found, the cow bones, they probably date back to 1897. And I took one home and just basically fell apart. So I believe they are that old. And before then, there was a trading post where fur trappers would trade with American Indians. And the Cherokee Trail ran right through here. So there's a lot of history. And I'm glad they leave these open spaces because that's what makes the city so awesome. There's just tons of open space. It's a huge city, but it feels like the country. So this is what America looks like. So this rabbit, he's become my little buddy. He's always in the same place, and he lets me get close. I can almost pet him. So let me see if I can get up enough trust so he'll let me do that, but not today. Anyways, I hope he lives. Not much chance of it out here. Everything is out to kill him, but I like him. He's got attitude. Okay, this is called a puffball mushroom. They get really huge, and if you cut them open, they're solid white on the inside. Supposedly they're edible, but I wouldn't try it. But they get huge. I think the biggest one ever was about 30 inches across. So that's what this is. And now here's the same mushroom. This is about 2 weeks later, and it's got these brown ripples through it, and that means it's about to explode, and those spores are going to go all over the place, and that'll be the end of the life of this one. Check out the size of this gigantic grasshopper I found. He's dead, but wow, this is a big sucker. I don't know if that's a grasshopper or something else. That is a monster. I'm going to say he's about 5 inches long. So that one's called a bull thistle, and that's a good one if you have liver problems. Actually, the one that you want is a milk thistle, but it's related, and it helps your liver, especially if you're a drinker. You can buy milk thistle extract in any health food store, so that's what that is. Okay, here's something interesting. This is a hairball from a cat. Just like your house cat would throw up, but there's no house cats out here. So this came from either a bobcat or a mountain lion, and they can't digest that hair, so that's what that is. Okay, found another snake skin, probably a rattlesnake, and it's not in good shape. Looks like the snake went down this hole a long time ago, and so I have 3 of these now. But let me show you something else, see if you can figure out what this is. At first I thought this was part of a plant, but this is the husk of a pronghorn horn. It's the actual horn, but it's not made out of bone, it's hair material. And I've found 3 of these so far. This is something I can't bleach. It's just going to fall apart eventually. But that's what that is. And these drop off once a year. They keep a small nub on their skull. That's the true horn. But yeah, that's what this is. So check this out. This is prairie dog turds. And you got this little beetle here. He's trying to roll one down the hill. A turd burglar. And he's, this thing's about 10 times his size. He's rolling it away. I don't know what he's going to do with it. Turd burglar. So now I'm going to explore this dry ravine and hope that it doesn't rain, because this would not be a good place to be. But this is cool. It's right in the middle of the prairie. See what kind of monster is around the next corner. So here's some animal tracks. Looks like I want to say a raccoon, but these are way too big for a raccoon, so this might be a badger. So it might sound boring to take the same hike over and over again, but I find something different every time I come out here. And eventually I'll get burned out, move on to the next thing. I did find a abandoned railroad tunnel. I thought it was a mine, but you know, I did some research on it, and it's from the 1870s. So that's coming up in a future video. A lot of cool stuff out here. See if I can find some mines up by Cripple Creek. There's a famous gold mine in town, and yeah, so look forward to those. I don't put out too many videos, but I try to make the ones that I do put out fairly good. So, hope you enjoyed this little taste of Colorado. Bluestem Prairie is where you go. Actually, any prairie you're going to find this stuff, but here's a few of my favorite photos. And be sure to check out my side video on bleaching skulls, because I found a S-load of them out here, and some came out pretty good. So that's in the link, and adios for now.